back to Living with Perks. Today we are making a cake. Do some box mixes. I'm doing a double batch because I'm making a triple layer cake. The goal is to have a ice cream unicorn drip cake by the end of this process. So following the directions on the box, double batch. So I need 2 cups of water, 1 cup of oil. I just use vegetable oil, canola oil, whatever oil you have. 6 eggs. I just pour it all in. And now to whisk it. Just whisk until you don't have any lumps. Some lumps are fine. You don't want too many. Okay, so now we have the batter all mixed up. It's pretty smooth. So now I am going to prepare my cake pan. I have an 8-inch round, so I'm gonna get this all prepped and ready to go. Take some cooking spray and just get a nice coating on there so your cakes don't stick. Also add a little bit of flour and just make sure that you have it, you know, just around it. You just move it around. Make sure all your corners and the bottom is all coated. So then I'm gonna take 1/3 of this batter, put it in here, and then bake it. I have to do this 3 times. I only have 1 pan. Go me. Put in roughly 1/3 of this mix. And then just bake to the instructions. You can kind of drop it around, make sure you get all the air bubbles out. Oven's preheated to 350. I'm gonna go ahead and just sit it in the center rack all the way back and let it cook. I'll check it at 35 minutes and see where we're at. It's been 35 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and take this little stick, poke it in the center of my cake, and see if it comes out clean. It's clean. It's done. So I'm going to transfer this out onto this. You just kind of shake it, make sure it's not sticking anywhere, which it's not. It's because we prepped the pan. Be careful, don't burn yourself. And it should come out and be complete. Time to do that 2 more times. Here are my other 2 that are done. This one's basically cool. I also do take just some parchment paper to keep them from sticking to my boards. Final cake out of the oven. Gonna flip it out of the pan, get them into the freezer. And we're gonna frost these suckers tomorrow. See you later. So right now I am getting ready to make what is going to be my ice cream on the top of the cake. In order to do that, I'm making Rice Krispie treats. Put your butter in the pan, melt that down, throw in your marshmallows, melt these down all the way, and then once this is all done and melted, we will add the Rice Krispies. I did a half batch, so mine is 2.5 cups of Rice Krispie cereal that will go into my 2 cups of marshmallows and my 2 tablespoons of melted butter. Okay, so my marshmallows and butter are all melted. Remove it from your heat source. Pour in your cereal and mix it until it's evenly coated. Once this is all combined, I'm gonna put it on a piece of parchment paper. And then I'm gonna flatten it out. I like to use a little cooking spray on my hands so it doesn't stick to me. I'm just gonna flatten it out so it cools a little quicker. All right, so I've let it cool for, I don't know, like 5-ish minutes. I am going to spray my hands one more time and form it into what is going to be my ice cream. You wanna do it when it's still kind of warm, just so you can form it a little easier. So for my size of cake, I have a feeling this is gonna be kind of the perfect size to be my ice cream. I pulled out the cone just ahead of time. I will kind of even make a little bit of a spot so I know where my cone's gonna go. So I'm gonna put some Rice Krispies inside the cone. And because it's going to be a melting cone, have it be a little flat on the bottom. That will now go into the freezer without the cone, just so I can ice it. And the icing will also help keep the cone in place. Just took the cakes out of the freezer. They are frozen solid because they've been in there overnight. I'm just gonna put a little frosting on my cardboard so my cakes don't slip around. And then I'm going to do a layer of frosting and then continue stacking. I'm going to put some frosting in a bag to pipe around it before I smooth the whole thing. For my drips, I'm going to use just a can of frosting and stick it in the microwave until it's a little more liquidy. You want to make sure that it is a good dripping consistency to where it's not going to be clumpy, but it's also not just going to run all the way down to the bottom of your cake. And I have just these little squeezy bottles, so I'm going to put my frosting into that. Alright, so we just took out the Rice Krispie treat from the freezer. It's frozen solid. I am now going to cover it with the same frosting that we did for the drips on top of the cake. Just kind of put it around and it will do the work for you. I put mine on a cooling rack on top of a cookie sheet, some parchment paper just to pick up the mess, so easier cleanup. And it doesn't have to be pretty because melted ice cream isn't always pretty, right? And because I have to pick it up, there's gonna be some fingerprints on it, but we'll fix it once we get it up onto the cake as well. I like to go around the edges of the ice cream ball just to smooth any rough edges, and most of this will get covered up with decorations as well, so don't worry about any little bumps or lumps. So for my ears, I decided to go with some just puffy marshmallows. I'm gonna roll them out and cut them to the size I need. All right, now we've got two sticky little marshmallow unicorn ears. I am going to take some gel food coloring and a little bit of water to do the little inside pink part of the ear. And now I'm going to be using 4 different colors to decorate the unicorn's mane. All right, in goes the ears. Things are not great until you've added glitter. Super sparkly. So overall, I spent roughly 20 bucks on the entire cake. That's frosting, marshmallows, cake mix, sprinkles, everything. You would not get a 3-tier, super cute unicorn cake for less than 30 bucks anywhere else. Do it yourself. Thanks for watching. Living with Perks. Bye.